Hey, hey, hey. Hey, that's my jam. All right, guys. Welcome to Monetize with Meta, the podcast. Let me get on screen, guys. Y'all know that's my favorite thing. I don't like to be on here. You can't see me. Hey! What's going on? I am your host, Dominique Nash of Arts and Styles by Domi LLC. Welcome to the Nash House, Domi_Nash. You name it, I probably do it. Model slash entrepreneur slash podcast host, wife, mom, dog mom, and yeah. And I have with me the pleasure to introduce you guys. Let me go ahead and turn the music all the way down because if it start boogieing, I don't know, I can't help myself. But I want to introduce to you guys my co-host for today. This is GN Photography LLC. Woo! He is a photographer from St. Louis, Missouri. Let me turn your mic on. Boop, boop. All right. Go ahead, Mr. GN Photography.
You know, I would have got it on. It took you one too many taps to turn on my microphone.
Hey, bro, listen. Ain't nobody asked you to say all that. See, this is why I love him as my photographer. Like, we have so much organic fun when it comes to photo shoots. Our last recent one yesterday.
Yeah, that was fun. We did it for Stitch Fix.
Yeah, we did it for Stitch Fix.
She got some Stitch Fix for her birthday, right?
Woo.
And to be honest, we had just got done celebrating her actual birthday the day before on the 29th. Yeah. So happy birthday to you again.
Thank you.
So we were like, okay, we'll use the day to rest. And then she came up like, baby, I really want to model. Like, I really feel like modeling. I know I said I was going to rest. I'm like...
And, well, my personal stylist. You got to tell them everything. So
no, I am telling them everything.
No, my personal stylist, though, she sent me something for my birthday. And it was some really cute, sexy stuff that I wanted to show off. You know, so tell them about that.
In a minute, I'm not done with this
story. Shucks. Shucks.
Yeah, so you got to let people finish stuff while you're just jumping on in. Damn it. Oh, wait, can I cuss on your show?
You just did.
Well, I figure I'd do it now and ask for forgiveness later. So, yeah.
Okay.
So she was all like, I really want to model. Come on, let's go model. I'm like, girl, you said we was going to rest. I feel like resting, especially because, like, I'm off from my day job on weekends finally.
Yeah.
And instead of actually lounging like I want to, she always wants to fill all my days with stuff to do.
Well, that's kind of part of being a wife, though. I
Right,
mean,
stop
am I
doing
wrong?
that. Yes.
Am I wrong, ladies? Like, ain't part of being a wife is like making sure that you have quality time with your significant other? Like, yes.
No, wait. Don't make it seem like it's all about quality time with
It
the significant
is.
other. Because a lot of that stuff. If there's a pie chart, so here's the pie of Graham's time. Right?
Okay,
There's the pie.
the pie chart.
Okay. Now, and it's filled with nothing stuff for the wife to do. So it'll be like chores, posting, whatever it is. So it's like about a good this much of the pie.
Okay.
Right there, and then let's see, time with the kids go in there.
Right, and you got a slot.
And then
okay.
there's a slot for that, and then there's a slot for that, and then Dominique and Graylin quality time. That's kind of like,
oh no, we need to open that all the way
there.
up.
That's how that usually goes.
That's all the way up.
Right, you just
am
make
I
it
right,
seem
ladies,
like
or am I right? It's all the way up. You know, because we've been doing this strong now for what? And yes, GM Photography is my husband, by the way. He has been a dedicated photographer for any project that we have done collaboratively, whether it's on our film, the photos that you do. We did product photography a couple years ago.
Yeah,
we were doing product photography, so like we've always collaborated together. That's what I love about you, by the way, is that our creative minds can come together. But on a real tip, whenever you is done with the kids and work, that's my time. Me and you time. I mean, you do get you some you time if you want to play the game.
Don't lie to this. Now we can do a lot of things with these people. We can tell them stuff, but let's not lie to these people.
What?
But all jokes aside, kind of finishing up story. So she did get some really nice stuff for from the Stitch Fix. So
she laid it out, didn't she?
Yeah. So. She did, and we got to go to different places. St. Louis went to a smoke shop where they had a cigar room.
Yeah, what was the name of the smoke shop?
It was crap, I forgot it already.
Emporium.
Emporium, yeah, Emporium STL,
and the little cigar room. It was like steamed. Oh my god, it was so cool.
The cigar room was really nice. You know, we actually got a cigar from there, which was pretty cool. Yeah, and we did some photos with that stuff, and then some of the other dresses,
which I will release tomorrow. I've had a day. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend, so I'm not gonna release the photos of it until tomorrow. So make sure that if this is your first time seeing us, make sure that you hit that follow button. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and things like that. But make sure you turn on notifications so you can be notified when I do post it, because I do want you guys to see how great of a creative mind he has. Like, when I tell you, like, a lot of the stuff, if you've been seeing our videos and everything, it's really been more of him. It's been his creative outlet, because I've been too busy to sit down and put things together. So I just really love, like, how you have this such a different, unique perspective. It's kind of like voyeurism. You know, your perspective is like of a voyeur. So, baby, you like watching, huh?
Hey, look, don't be trying to imply stuff.
I'm just playing. But listen, thank you for introducing yourself to everybody. I wanted to go ahead and get you on the show because I know a lot of people are wondering, like, who takes my photos? Who is the man behind the camera? I've had some people like, okay, who took this photo? I'm like, it's Jen Photography. Who is that? It's my husband. I wanted to have a podcast episode with him tonight because I wanted him to be able to get to know you guys. I mean, you've been watching everything that we've been doing, and thank you guys so much for your support. We have been on this journey now for 4 years, and we're really close to achieving some major goals. So thank you for all the love and support that you give each and every project that I have out there. I appreciate that. But when it comes to monetization, I wanted to allow him the opportunity to talk about how it has been for him on monetizing. You guys always hear about my perspective, but I wanted to allow you into a different perspective. So for all of you that don't know, I am his actual social media manager. Now, his social media was already established. Jen Photography that page has been around for how long?
Since it will be 5 years in September, actually.
Wow, 5 years.
Yep.
5 years ago, we started down this journey. Now, the one thing by us already kind of coming in the age of technology, first social media engine was MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, where we
had to learn how to code,
right,
man.
Or you had to find where the codes are at.
Yeah, you got to know the websites.
Right, you know the websites, and you copy the code, you paste it, so you don't have that plain old MySpace page.
Yes. Hey, listen, I had words raining down on my page with the Touch It remix with Busta Rhymes. You remember that? Yeah. Touch it, bring it, babe. Watch it, turn it, leave it.
You could put all sorts of music. Like, you could actually go to the artist's MySpace page.
Yeah, and you could tag their music in there. Like, it used to be so cool, but then everybody left MySpace. And then everybody started coming over to Facebook, but at first you had to be in college.
Right, and I was one of the first ones to actually have a Facebook because it came out for college kids. It was 2005, and I was a sophomore in college.
See, I was already out of college.
Right, you did the accelerated program.
Yeah, I went into college and I signed up for a 2-year program. It was accelerated. So I got my associate's degree. I didn't really have like the traditional college life at any point, because the second time I went, I did online. So
Right, you've done college in a very non-traditional way, as in I did the traditional university thing and actually had a scholarship for wrestling.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you went to state, didn't you?
No, I never went to state, but I was actually good enough to get a scholarship to get on the team. So hey.
Hey, it's always nice when the kids from the hood can get a scholarship to go to college. Hey, amen to that, huh?
Yep.
We both were a product. A lot of the times, people see the glow of what we do, and it's like, oh, your life is so perfect. No. We share to celebrate victories. Like, for me, I was the first person in my family that I was born into to graduate high school, let alone go to college. So when I started this journey of being a content creator, my point of view was to share that this is possible as a Black person. You can achieve dreams, even if you are not from the area where you are fortunate. I grew up in a lot of poverty, a lot of dysfunction, man. My uncle was a crackhead, bruh. He was living with us, TVs getting stolen and shit like that. So I lived in the hood. To go to college was like such a culture shock. Not seeing dilapidated buildings. You see these mansions and people houses look different. They modernize,
Right.
And my husband, he came from the same type of background. Y'all had a nice house though.
Yeah, so my family was a little different. My grandmother was an elementary school teacher. Mm-hmm. My grandfather served in the Navy. He was a mechanic with the Navy. So when he got out, he worked for the city of St. Louis, kind of like down in the boiler room area. So he was kind of like a repairman for the city. So if they needed something, so if they needed something, he had his own little office space and everything down in there. Mm-hmm. So my folks and my relatives, they had an opportunity, to go to college.
Yeah.
My aunt, she, you know about her, she got degrees on top of degrees.
Right.
My father went to Mizzou for electrical engineering.
Okay.
And Pep, he tried his hand at different things with college, med assistant, computer program. So
he kind of went the routes that I did.
Right. Yeah. So as far as college was like for me, it was kind of like that's okay. Graduate from high school and ain't just going to go work. Like at least go get your education. At the very least, get the bachelor's.
Right.
So that's what I did. I took just a different approach about it. Instead of going like the academic thing, which probably would have been easier on my body anyway. I wanted to do the sport route because it was different.
What did you like so much about wrestling? Because if you got a scholarship for wrestling, that means that you really worked really hard in high school for that.
Well, it gave me something to do outside of the traditional. Okay, so if you're a big Black kid in the hood, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing you do when you go to like any type of school, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, it's always some older gentleman around that just happens to know a football coach or coaches a football team.
They're going to try to sign you up for football.
So they are going to always find a way to sign you up or talk you into football. If you say no, the fact that you big, it's just.
We didn't hear that so much with our oldest son. Yes, right. That's like the one predominant pick. And we tried the little league footballs, but now I'm starting to understand. There's a TikTok that I did about somebody said like they don't like the women who are like my son is my king, and I was like I don't say that. I don't know nothing about that because my husband my king, but I think I know what they meant. Those moms on some of those football teams, they was my son is my king type. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Like they would be that type, and they would be overbearing. So we gotta stop always wanting the tall kids to be in football. Okay. Right.
The big tall kids play football on the line. Maybe I don't feel like pushing up, but it's funny though, because I was pro wrestling fan growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And and I heard it, of course, like, oh, that's fake. You hear that, right? But like, so what? So is anything else that you watch on TV. It's TV. It's not supposed
entertainment.
to be real. Okay?
I mean, do you really want to see somebody try to bash somebody's head in? That's a little sadistic.
Right. I mean, but listen, I look at two grown men fighting over 10 pounds of gold on a belt. It's more believable than somebody on an island just handing out roses talking about somebody.
Oh, you talking about The Bachelor? And you remember Flavor Flav?
Right, right. Like I go and people be so into it. I know I go up to them. That's fake, right?
Right, man. I don't know who ever thought none of. Do y'all think that those reality shows like The Bachelor and stuff is real? That's not real. If you think it's real, just drop something down below.
All right, but kind of going back to it a little bit. So, and I find the irony of this, right? So because wrestling, there was I also learned as I was getting older that some of those guys actually participated in actual wrestling, right?
Okay.
So I thought about, like, I probably could do that, but I wasn't fully sure. And then it was like one day I was it was my freshman year in high school. Went to Soda in high school, so I was leaving out to go home. Now, as I was leaving out, I didn't know him at the time, but one of the wrestling coaches happened to walk in the other way. Okay. So I'm just being nice. I've seen him around, but I didn't know who he was, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I really didn't, outside of my teachers or anything, I didn't really know who was what or anything. Mm-hmm. So he's walking by, I'm leaving, and I'm just saying, being nice, say, hey, how you doing? And he comes to me, he's like, hey, man, you ever thought about wrestling? I was like, yeah, I thought about it. I just want you, like, well, here, why don't you come on to the room, come check us out. Okay. So I went down there, and that was my introduction to Coach Weatherspoon. So he was actually one of my teammates, Nathan. That was his dad. Okay. So his dad was coaching the team, and he introduced me to Mr. Green, who was the head coach. And I told you
told me some stories. Hey, why Mr. all Green? Of the black coaches, they just do not care what they say. I'd be like, dude, you cannot just say that in front of my kids, bro.
Hey, man, and listen, in 2023. I don't think Coach Green would have been.
No, not from the stuff you told me.
No, and because you have a certain audience, I'm not going to share any of that stuff. I'm just going to tell you this: that he says some wild stuff. So if you've been an athlete, you've been around some of these coaches will say some of the wildest stuff, and like a filter don't exist for them, right? So and I took into wrestling, and I started to like it, so I wanted to stay with it. Okay. And then there was the possibility, like, hey, like this could get you to a scholarship to go to school.
So that's how you were introduced to learning more about scholarships. I only learned about them when people came to the high school, like my junior year, to talk about college. I didn't even think about that. My goal, because people in my family had not finished high school, some not even middle school.
Right.
So my goal was just to finish high school, so I didn't even think about the possibility of scholarship. So how was it presented to you?
It just was kind of said in passing. It was like, yeah, I could probably do that as scholarship, because like as you're kind of learning about that, like in school, they tell you like, okay, if you're going to go to college, you need money, you apply for scholarships.
Yeah, because school's expensive.
But almost every scholarship wants you to write some long essay.
Man, they want you to write a 25-page essay on why you should get in there. I applied.
Give me 3,000 words on what you would do to change the world. Shoot, I don't know.
Mind my business. I'm going to drink my water. And I'm going to mind my business.
Yeah, I'm going to take my vitamins, say my prayers, and drink my milk. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, like, so I looked at it like this. Let me see. I can just do this sport and just make sure I keep my grades up. And I don't even have to write an essay.
Well,
I mean, if you look, because I'm going to be honest.
I wish I had known about sports scholarships back then. I thought I had to write the 25-page essay. That's what I did.
Man, that's for suckers.
Man, I was a sucker.
But you're talking to somebody who, I'm gonna be honest, like, I didn't really like school in the vein of, not because like I hated school, right? Like, I hate this place. It was just like, yeah, this is cool and all, and I get I need to learn it, but like, do I really have to do homework? Do I really have to, like? Do I really gotta do all this?
You ain't
Like,
all the extra bells and whistles, huh?
Right, like
I was the one signing up for extra credit. You know, bookworm at heart. You
like
know, he's talking about some. Do I really need to do homework? Like, really, is that a life skill I'm gonna need? Homework?
Oh, like, which it turns out, like, as you get older, you realize, yeah, you got to do your homework.
Yeah, you got
right. So it is good practice, but like, seriously, what the hell am I gonna do with algebra? But that's the whole. But listen, we'll stay on that all night. So we're gonna keep this moving on. But yeah, that's how I got introduced. Now, ultimately, like I said, I ended up getting. I got a scholarship to attend Missouri Baptist University, part of their wrestling team.
Okay.
So now it wasn't an NCAA school because NCAA, that's the big time.
Okay.
Right? I was part of what was called the NAIA, which is like kind of the NCAA schools. Look at you, it's like, oh god, he's saying lots of letters.
It was lots and my attention span. I'm like, squirrel.
Right, so I need you to leave squirrel alone, and you got to come back. You actually had to do something called paying attention. I know that's a foreign concept.
Let's do it.
We're going to do it, okay? Don't go cross-eyed on me.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I fixed that. Okay. So, basically, like the Final Four. Like,
are you talking about college stuff? Because I don't know nothing about that.
You've heard it in passing.
So that's what you're referring to.
Right, so...
Is your chicken things in the oven?
Focus.
Okay. Told you, squirrel.
Focus.
Okay, focus. Okay. Final Four.
Right. That's from the NCAA. Okay. Like they make a big deal to all the bells and whistles for college sports, and them athletes don't make not one red cent. Even though they
make all that money off of them people.
Yep.
Hey, that's
the NCAA. Yeah, that's the big time. That's the big time.
So them students don't get none of that money that they charge all those people to come to them games for. Because I remember we tried to go to a college football game, and they was charging. Thank God they gave us free tickets. Because who is number 72? I don't know.
Right, they just part of the
college. But they make all that money.
Yeah. So I was in the level right under that. Okay. Now we didn't get the blitz. Division. Right, yeah. So it's basically for all the smaller schools.
Okay.
So Missouri Baptist was a smaller school. It's grown some, but it's still a small school. Mm-hmm. So which was cool because we still had an opportunity to go to tournaments and take on some of those like higher level teams. So it was all like a big learning experience. So it was something to enjoy, and plus it gave me something to do because if I didn't have anything to do like that, like it kept me working out, I probably would have been fat as hell eating all the time because
food is life. Thank God we exercise now. Like we just foodies.
I've been fat as I don't know what they would have to roll me.
I love food, but
they would have to roll me all over campus, man. That's
you would have been diabeto off of what was it on
Family Guy?
On Family Guy, you would have been diabeto.
Yeah, I would have been diabeto if I wasn't doing that. So
ain't lying. We love food.
That was the route I took to get in school, and I got my bachelor's and did sport management.
Yes.
Yeah, because I tried computer science. That didn't work. I couldn't get programming.
So you didn't really know what major to really pick either. Because I didn't either. I just knew
I just tried something.
I knew that they said that the next stage, because they came to my school. Oh, wait a minute. We got Johnny Vlog. Hey, Johnny Vlog. We're from the Philippines. Hey.
All right.
Oh, guys, and just to let you know, we're live on Facebook. We're live on TikTok and we're live on Instagram. So hello to everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Okay, he going to check on that. But thank you so much. We are just talking about the different things. Well, I wanted to introduce my guest, which is my husband and my photographer, GN Photography LLC. If you're not following them, follow them on all social sites, even on the YouTube. If you like a lot of different, what do you call that category that you really like, baby? Uber X?
No, Uber X is what Uber does to give you and let extra people get in your car. It's called Urbex.
Urbex. And that's urban exploration. Okay, y'all get it. But anyway, his YouTube channel is really, really cool. He used to adventure into some different areas to showcase a lot of the decay that we see from day to day that we kind of take for granted. We don't really pay attention to it. He gets up close with it. So check out his YouTube channel. But really, our podcast is always focused on how you monetize everything that you do. With him, he already established his platform 5 years ago with GM Photography. I came in after learning what I learned from Meta and understanding how to use social media to market yourself. I became his social media manager. So I set him up with the YouTube channel and I manage his page. And really anybody who has a hobby, and that was a hobby for him. He just wanted to be able to do photography. He's always been really good at it ever since I met him. And he captures something that you sometimes you forget to see. And I think it's very unique. So when he started it was more of a hobby. And it started to pick up traction. We would get booked for events like weddings and portrait photography for families and things like that. And then I did get blessed to get the opportunity to become an influencer for Stitch Fix. And my partnership with them now is 2 years strong. And I have a personal stylist that sends me different things. And my husband and I, we go out and we try to provide a feel. We come up with such creative ways to showcase different things, because we've done product photography before. Who was that got in contact with you? Modelo wanted the picture of me holding the beer when I was actually advertising Stitch Fix. You remember that?
Yeah. That was actually pretty fun shoot. Yeah, so it was a you got the Stitch Fix.
Yeah.
And we were going for like a picnic vibe.
Yep.
And we just so happened to have some Modelo beer, and we got the idea for that because we spent our 10th. It was just after we got back from our 10th wedding anniversary trip in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he surprised me with a trip. That was the best 10-year wedding anniversary, by the way, gift. But go ahead.
Yeah. So while we were there, I think we got back from El Pollo Loco. We came back to the hotel. You know, we were celebrating, having fun, doing what married people do. So we stopped at the bar. Get something to drink, and they recommended Modelo. We're like, yeah, sure, we'll get 2 Modelos, right? They were like $9 per bottle.
Oh my god! I was
but
like,
you know, it's vacation.
It's vacation,
so it's like, hey,
but
whatever.
dang, that's so expensive,
right? So we get the bottle of Modelo. I'm like, this Modelo pretty good.
It was
and,
really good.
And this is coming from folks who's from St. Louis. We have a brewery, you know. You may have heard when Bud Light. Yeah, you think, you know, we know about beer. They literally make it here. Right, but we did the Modelo. Like, it's pretty good. So for a little bit we was on our Modelo kick, and we was like, hey, we could go ahead and do something with this. So we did like a little picnic theme shoot, and it was like the shot, I think, where you're kind of staring off and you got the bottle like in your hand,
like I'm about to open it.
Right? Yeah, you do about to open it. That was the picture that they wanted. Yeah,
they wanted that picture. It was so strategic too. I had colored my hair blue and yellow. To bring awareness for, because at the time I was doing a fundraiser for postpartum depression, the foundation, and to celebrate mental health awareness anyway, but because that's always the key. I always want to celebrate that. But there in May is when that's really brought to the forefront. So the colors for postpartum depression awareness was blue and yellow. So I colored my hair blue and yellow. And then my personal stylist at the time was Jacqueline with Stitch Fix. And I told her what I was trying to do. And she came up with these awesome combinations that she sent for us to showcase. And this dress, it was kind of golden. Wasn't it kind of like yellow?
Yeah.
With stripes?
Matter of fact, you know what? What's good about technology, I can actually pull up the photo right now.
Oh my god, but the dress was perfect to go with the hair. And then I had on blue and yellow nails. Now at the time I did not know that was the color for the Ukraine. So after I posted the picture, I had people talking about, you're supporting that? I don't know what you're talking about. This is just a picture. Okay. But it was strategic. And then we ended up with the Modelo bottle, and I pretended to act like I was going to open it, and he caught the shot, and it was just the most beautiful shot. I still to this day love that picture, and that was very young in my influence partnership with Stitch Fix.
Yeah, so here is the photo right here. I'm just gonna put it up there to the folks on Instagram, folks on TikTok. Kind of get that. All right, and then we got the Facebook folks right here. You can see it. I can't tell if they able to see it, or if I need to move it up closer. There it goes. But you can kind of see it in the camera.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the shot.
That's the shot. Modelo wanted that photo. And I honestly understood why. It looks like something you would see on a billboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it looked like something you would see on a billboard riding down the highway. And I was like, oh, well, we got to talk money. So that's really why I wanted to come on a podcast tonight. In this lane, because a lot of people, especially a lot of my old clients, they will contact me in the stage where you're starting to get emails from companies saying that they will pay you to post ads. Okay. He gets them a lot, but I monitor his business. You know, same thing with my businesses. So everything goes through me. And in this business, you're going to think that you need to always be polite. But we are always independent contractors. And if you don't understand that talking business means that you have to be a little bit aggressive, you're not going to be able to get far. We've been in contact with almost every company that we wanted to get their attention. We got Modelo's attention, Starkist Tuna, Doritos, Ginger Ale, Canada Dry, Stitch Fix, my partner, Capital One. We can get in contact with the brands no problem, just by advertising. That's what we do as a collaborative team. But when it's talking about the next step, no, you cannot use my picture. Not for free. Not to advertise, because that is my intellectual property. Yes, I posted it online, but if you want to put that on billboards and be able to really make millions off of it, you would need to compensate not only him, but you need to compensate me. This is business. And a lot of the times when you come off like that, they want to back off. But we don't chase, we attract. So they always come back. You know, we have to find a way. You have to find a way in this industry to really break through and start to bridge more partnerships. And that's the same thing with all of the platforms. When you're monetizing through it, you're basically are saying that you are legitimately about your business, whatever your business is, right? Mm-hmm. If you're legitimately about your business, like you are with your photography, I am with my influence and me branding, you know, you have to expect that I'm going to want to be compensated for my time. If I'm going to promote a product, I want to be paid for that. If I'm going to let you run ads for you through my payout account because you don't know how to do that for your product, that's fine. If you want my face to host your brand, that's fine. But we have to talk dineros. You understand? In this business of building your platform, if you start to get those emails saying that if you post an ad, I'll pay you $3,000, $500, $200, $400, that means that you're visible enough for the scammers, because those are not real. But when you are that visible, just know that you're getting really close to making real deals and partnerships. And you can go through things like Backstage. That one is more of a legitimate platform to really connect you to major brands. But, you know, you have to do your research. That's it. That's all. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to do your research. But we've been on this journey for a while. We actually had a client that wanted to get the attention of a brand that she purchased constantly. She just wanted them to know that she could model their product. She paid for us to do her photography and her videography. And I told you, it's nothing for me to get in contact with brands and companies. And her money was well spent. Not only did they contact her or get her attention on Facebook, it was on Instagram, it was on TikTok, it was on Twitter, which is now X.
Yeah, put your X up.
And I showed her the work. Yeah, I said, look, they're loving your photo. They really like you. We set her up a brand page, and then I let her on her way, you know. But in this business, you know, you really could hire a team like us if you really are serious about getting the attention of a brand to build a partnership. You know, that's how I've been able to establish some.
Yeah, and this is just a tip. It's got to be something that you actually like, is actually believe in. Don't be someone that you're a Pepsi drinker. You love Pepsi. You brush your teeth with Pepsi, but you want to get the attention of Coke. Right? It doesn't. But no, you're a Pepsi person. Like, you know more about Pepsi. You brush your teeth with Pepsi. You know, if you want to do it, that make it sure it's something that you actually believe in.
Okay,
So,
and that's great advice because you know, on this journey, when you're building up a platform, and you know, my reasons for building my platform has changed over the years. How about you?
Yeah, because first it was really just, I'll say for me, when I was doing, when I first started out for photography, no lie, it was seriously just cell phone stuff. Because that's all I had.
Yeah.
Right. That's literally all I had was my Samsung, and that's what I would use. Now, for if somebody hired me for something, then I would borrow a camera.
Right.
I knew someone who was very nice enough to allow me to borrow his camera, and it was a pretty good camera. It was a Canon brand camera, and I was able to do some stuff, and I knew how to edit, so that made it a little bit easier to do it. So I got my own camera.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once you get your own stuff, then, you know, sky's the limit. You know, you're not bound by, oh, I got to hurry up and give this guy his stuff back. You know, this is mine. I can do what I want.
When you want to. So let me ask you this, because I don't think that your followers and your fans have ever been able to hear why you're so passionate about photography. This is like the first time in a long time that I have you on a live, and we are live on GN Photography right now. But just to give a little bit more insight as to why you started the journey and who you are as a photographer.
So when I started GN Photography about 5 years ago, and now you know this story, we were actually, because at the time I was working a job as a medical debt collector.
Oh, God.
Which I'm going to tell you this right now. If you need to do work, I wouldn't advise getting into collections unless, you know, you're just really a shark like that, then have at it. But collections is one thing. Medical collections is something different, because you basically are calling people who have been sick and had bills, and you're calling them something about,
it's so heartless.
Hey, we need the rest of this money, man, when you gonna pay this hospital. I'm amazed I did it for as long as I did, but I was getting at a point where I was just kind of sick of it.
I mean, because it's kind of heartless.
It really
especially
is,
you used
man.
to come home and tell me what they tell you, to ask them people would borrow against your 401k. You know, get a credit card. It's like, dang,
Right.
if they already in debt and they couldn't pay that bill, you gonna tell them to get some more debt?
Right, and it's wow. I mean, it did teach. What I did learn from it was, like, I learned like different options in case we needed to borrow some money, or if we needed something. You know, we could use things like our 401k, or use stuff like a you know, getting a credit card to kind of handle that stuff and you pay it back. So it taught you how to use that as a resource.
I got you.
But it was still, it's the work still sucks. So anyway, while we were riding along, you said that you had a dream that we would be traveling and we would be, you know, doing stuff, and you said I could do it with photography because you were just, I guess it was the way of how I was taking pictures of the kids.
Yeah.
And how I would do things with that. So I started the page. And like I said, it was literally just me using my phone. And every once in a while, like, you know, if I was able to borrow someone's camera, then, you know, great. I also had opportunity because when we were at church, I had the opportunity to kind of be like the part of the media team and taking pictures. So that was practice, at least a little bit, as far as just pointing, shooting, capturing moments. I didn't really know how to because it was such a basic camera. It didn't have those options where I could adjust for lighting or anything. It already did that, so it did like just standard. Oh, this is nice.
Like this cool.
This cool, right? But that was it. It was just this cool.
It's this cool,
right? That's what it was. I mean, it was, and people were digging like, oh yeah, this is cool. I mean,
I got you.
But I figured like if I could just let me get different angles, let me be in certain parts of that gave me opportunity to kind of really practice and play around with that stuff.
Yeah, I can see that because I mean. We did start. Let's talk about that. We have been doing everything with technology. You started the church at the time that we were attending because you were on media. You started them a Facebook. No, their Facebook was already there.
They had a Facebook. I started them on Instagram.
You started the Instagram.
Right, and kind of built them, started them off building up an audience through Instagram.
And all of the photos were photos that you had took. Right, sometimes people will send you photos. Yeah.
Yeah, but I went ahead so for those early photos, I took those photos and edited them. Yeah. And posted them. So all the early stuff from that church Instagram page, that was stuff that I did. Now, of course, it was for the church, so it's like, well, did they pay you? No, I was just doing it as volunteer work.
Right. It was volunteerism. So, yeah. And that's an important part of life. I know a lot of people have this mindset that they ain't gonna do nothing for free, but sometimes it's not even the point of the money. Sometimes it's just for the love of something, to study it. When I went to go get my license to do hair, I had to do free hair for a year and a half. Only earning anything that somebody felt like they wanted to give to me. Right. And for an ultimate goal to be able to have enough volunteer hours, because that's what it is. You're doing hair for free for enough volunteer hours, apprenticeship, in order for you to go to the state that you live in, pay to take the exam, for them to say, okay, she is proficient in this, or he is proficient in this. That's a trade. Right. I got the best of both worlds. I just thought about that because we was talking about school. I did that too. I did try. Damn, what the fuck have I not done?
Right, but yeah, listen, anything if it's a passion that you do, it doesn't matter if you're getting paid or if you're doing it for free. You just glad you get to do it.
So so GM photography really started from a hobby.
Right, it really did. It kind of spawned off from a hobby and then just kind of playing around. And that was 2018. Now, of course, at the time when GM Photography when I first started up the page and everything, again, I was in the midst of dealing with a terrible job situation. Yeah. Things had started changing, certain people started leaving, and I just didn't want to be there anymore.
Because it was medical there for 6 years, bro.
Right, but I didn't know how quick, because it was still decent money.
Yeah.
Right, when you have a family that you're taking care of, especially because we didn't just have Diedrich, but he was one. Right, so he was still pretty young.
He was a baby.
So we got our other, the other two kids, Cody, Deanna. They were still, young. They were 5, 6, 7 years old. Man, right,
they was babies. Now they giants.
Right, so they still young kids. So when you have a family with young children, you can't just up and say, I'm gonna quit.
Right, even if you're unhappy.
Right, but it was man, I don't want to be here, but I don't want to just up and quit. And I didn't really know what else to apply for at that time. Right,
because you had been doing that for 6 years, and we kind of fell into that job. Remember?
Right, yeah, we kind of fall into it, which I'm make sure next time I'm gonna look where I'm falling.
Hey, that's good advice for anybody. Look. You better make sure you look where you falling at, because when you fall there, that's a life decision right there. Right. But I really learned when we were in our 20s that we didn't have to just settle for anything anymore. Right. And everything will be fine. We'll work it out. It's not the end of the world, but sometimes settling for anything will make you just feel less valued.
Z Sneak. Hey, what's going on? Z
What's up,
Sneak over on
Z-Sneak?
Instagram. So
Hey, let me wave at you.
yeah, so so then Halloween of 2018 comes around.
Yeah.
And this is now, of course, things were happening, so I had to call off from work.
He said things were happening.
Yeah, things
things were happening.
Yeah, lots of things were happening. A lot of personal stuff that needed me to
Yeah.
take off for a second.
Yeah, we had to take care of some shit.
Right. So of course they was talking about well, if you take off again, you're gonna be fired, right?
And what happened?
So I go to work on Halloween. It's the last day of the month now. Last day of the month, they make a big scramble. Like, oh my God, this is the last day of the month. You better hurry up and get what you can so you hit goal. Blah blah blah. At that point, I didn't really care. I knew he
was like, they ain't fired me yet. I'm like, oh,
like I was just waiting on them. Like, hey, first hour in the day. Hey, you know what? We thank you. This is why you fired. Sign your paper. Thank you for your time.
Let
Good
me go.
luck in your future.
Right.
I wanted to be future endeavored. Right. But the day goes on. They either had like a Halloween party, all that goofy. Like I didn't care. So it's like an hour left in the workday, and I figured well, maybe I gotta come into work tomorrow. Team lead comes and gets me. Like, hey, they would need to see you. So I go see the manager, and he's giving me the whole thing, but brother was still in his costume.
What costume was he in?
He was dressed as a genie.
So you got fired by a dude dressed like a genie?
On Halloween.
That sounds like a joke.
1 hour before the end of the day, before the close of business.
He didn't even have the decency to put on regular clothes.
He didn't have the decency to put on regular clothes to fire me. He didn't even have the decency to just save my gas or save me the time. I still worked most of the day before they fired my ass.
He said, we're going to get some labor out of you, then we're going to let you go.
Right.
An hour before you supposed to end. Okay, right. Thank you.
You know what? I could have been you might as well let me stay. But at that point, I didn't care. I walked up out of there. And the next day, after we took the kids trick-or-treating, the next day, me and her was chilling at IHOP.
Yeah, because it was stressful.
It was stressful, man.
And then it's already a stressful job. You hassling people over paying their medical debt, but then they putting this unrealistic goal on your head to get as much money from these people. It was like a succubus job.
It really was. And there are people that have been able to thrive in it, and that's great for them.
Wait a minute, if you have done or experienced being a debt collector, let us know down below, because that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very thankless. I mean, the money is great, especially when you hit goals. Them bonus checks, they were nice. Until they withhold it, and then they're gonna give you your bonus, but then tax it, so you get taxed twice. You know what?
I had a regular job that did me like that. I had a bonus from Slang, HBO, Star, Showtime, and Cinemax and stuff like that. My bonus was supposed to be a good $1,500, and my check was a good $1,500. Man, they gonna hold the bonus $1,500 after they done already taxed my check and taxed the bonus. And I only got $900 a day. I'm like, y'all not supposed to be able to double tax me, man.
Man, but they get away with it.
They get away with
that. So I was glad to be out of there, and I cashed out my 401k there at the time. I had a little something saved up, and I figured, okay, well, this should help kind of hold us over while I get some things figured out. So in the meantime, I'm you know what, it's an opportunity to really kind of ramp it up with GM photography. So I was able to shoot a wedding and do a baby shower for some friends, and not baby shower, but maternity photos. That's what it was, maternity photos, right?
Yeah.
And they were cool. First time doing that stuff, doing the wedding, first time doing it, it was not bad. What I know now, I would have done things so much differently, but hey, you live and you learn.
Well, it was your first event, and now a paid event. So I will say this, because you're going to have to give yourself a little bit more credit. You did a really great job, given the circumstance that was your first paid gig, and it was such last minute. You got to remember that there was a member from the church who asked the church for a resource. They told her, because you are volunteering doing this at the church, But we also didn't have a professional camera. You had to borrow that. It was
right.
It was so last minute, but you did a great job. You did such a great job that she didn't have any problem paying you for that.
Right.
It was a service that you provided. And a lot of people, they don't realize that means a lot to you when you patronize me, when I really have never even been patronized like that before.
Right.
It really helps with really making a person focus on what that actual talent is. It does. It just helps you focus. So I think that's when it's solidified that you could really take it seriously.
Yeah, and it did. It did. When I say I could have did some things better, I'm talking about just as quality of work. Right, knowing what I know now, I'm like, oh, I would have did this, I would have did this. It's always like, I appreciate it. I look back like, okay, that was good. But now that I know that I'm better, it's like, you know what? If I could do that over again, this would look completely different.
So this would not be like this. I tell you that much.
Right.
Now I can say that. I mean, we all have. Like when we first got on this journey of content creation, we started. We had our own profiles, and you had Jen Photography. I had Orson Styles by Dami, but those, we had kind of slowed down from. And Welcome to the Nash House was born, and at first, you were the cameraman, you were the editor. The show was really, I was the subject making food. That's how we started our collab work, right? I wanted to be able to learn how to edit also because I felt like it was taken away from you doing product photography because remember you were doing the shoots for Canada Dry.
Yeah, I did that.
And you were doing other photos that you needed to edit, and it was just taking up a lot of time. So I sat down and I learned how to edit. But through it all, I think that because Welcome to the Nash House was birthed from your perspective, I think no matter when we do a collaborative project, if I sit back and let you do all of the videography, these people love it. Because that's what they saw when we really opened our platforms up. That you told a story. And that's what made them fall in love with, our projects. Yeah. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me just go ahead and rebrand. So, welcome. This is the Monetize with Meta, the podcast. I'm your host, Dominique Nash. We have our special guest here who is our photographer and the head of the Nash clan, Grayla Nash with GN Photography LLC. Really giving him the time and opportunity to express himself through actually talking instead of photography or videography this time.
You want to know what's crazy about all this?
What?
See, this is tapping into my words for tomorrow. Because, see, what you need to understand is men only have so many words within a day.
I believe that because women got so many words. Sometimes I tell myself, girl, shut the fuck up.
Right. And especially because the type of day work I do, I used to do, right, was just constantly talking to people all the doggone time.
Yeah.
So if there was times where it's like, after work, I ain't had no words, that's because I used all of them. I used all my words. Like, that was all my words. Like, I'm tapping into words for the next day.
And here I come. Honey, tell me how you feel. How are you feeling, honey? What do you mean nothing? What do you mean you're not thinking about anything? I just thought about what we're going to have for dinner.
And while she's doing it, you see how I'm looking at her right now? Is that how...
That's very
like,
right.
and I just need you, like, listen, I get you want me to talk, but right now I just need you to look at my face. That is telling you how I feel right now. So if I'm like, you tell me about all this stuff, like listen, I hear it, it's wonderful, and I want to give it my attention, but you have to understand I am out of words right now.
Words. You know what, brother?
You
I
asking
understand.
me to tap into word. Like, I don't even know if I have any words to say something nice to Coda's wedding at the rate I'm going.
But you know what? I know what you mean. I know what you mean because, like, a lot of the times when all the kids are talking to me at once, and I have to deal with that constantly all day. Like if I'm off or I'm at home, like I'm gonna have to do tomorrow because I'm taking off tomorrow.
Oh yeah, because yeah, even though I'm at work, I'm here, and they come in, they always want to eat something.
Oh my God, they always eating.
Especially what's up, Muslim. Dad, can I have a snack? Like, dude, you just had breakfast. You literally just had breakfast. Why are you asking me for snacks right now? At this moment in time. You just had breakfast at 9:30. It is now 9:45. Why do you need a bag of chips? Why?
Oh,
why? You don't need that.
Hey, listen, parents, y'all understand where we're coming from, because that's some parenting stuff right there, boy. Oh my God. That felt good to get off your chest, didn't it?
You know, I could go all night on that, but I know this isn't the time for that. So.
Oh, it's cool. It's funny. Because it's relatable. I mean, you know, if you have children, no matter what, we don't know what stage is beyond almost preteen. We don't know that stage yet. We gonna get there. We don't know that right now. But anything below that and in that, we got it. You know?
I mean, I got exposure to dealing with teenagers working for the Y.
Yeah, you did.
And which is funny, you know, because now that I think about it, I've been doing the photography and video stuff for so long. I was even doing some of that stuff at the Y when I was with the youth
Baby, you've been doing it since I met you. You used to take pictures of me, and I'd be like, when you take a picture of me? You was like, oh, when I was standing over there. I didn't see you had your phone. You've been doing it since I met you.
Yeah, so really, like, the stuff that I see, it's just been years and years of just, like, practicing, learning, like, different programs and different apps. And I think that's why, like, it's so easy, like, for us, right? Even though we're getting older, we can still catch on to, like, social media, or at least know what's going on when something new comes out. They do it, or they have, like, a filter or anything.
Yeah, because we were talking about earlier.
Because we've been doing this for years.
Yeah, so, like, we were the first tester group. MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, Snapchat, and I'm on all of them, by the way. Now Threads. I'm on Patreon, YouTube, Google.
Hey,
my ass is on everything. You hear me? I got a Reddit account.
Would you want to know what you're not on?
What?
You're not on Black Planet. That's what we forgot. See, that was before MySpace.
What am I?
Black
Vimo?
Planet.
Or was it Venmo? Or no, Vimo?
It was.
I wasn't allowed to get on none of them sites back then.
There was one, and this was when we was in high school. No lie, it was called highschoolclub.com.
No, I ain't never heard no shit like that.
That was like, because I went to Sodan, right, for high school. Went to Sodan, and that was like, for a brief period of time, that was like what was hot, man. It was like high school club. So it's like, you know, you talking to even though you seen them in class and stuff, like, now you on high school club, now you talking to them, you talking to people from other high schools and stuff and everything. So in a way, that was kind of like a precursor to Facebook.
I wasn't allowed to get on none of that. You know, my parents and them, they didn't really trust the internet. They still don't. They be like,
we were fortunate enough to have the internet, and when
I had to do the AOL disc.
Oh God, those discs
I used the phone line to get on the internet. I had one of them big old bulky computers. My dad, though, he was always really good with his hands, so he would build me a desk.
Right.
Or a bookcase and stuff like that. But getting on that computer, he didn't know nothing about that. No, neither did my mom. So I used to always adventure out on my own with that AOL disc. It would take forever.
Oh my God. Like, I would tell you this, when we first got, we didn't have the AOL. We had all the discs from, like, let's know how old this was, Southwestern Bell. We had internet through Southwestern Bell. So they sent us, like, it was like 6 discs.
It was 6?
It was 6. We had to keep putting them in.
It was 6 discs just to get on the internet. Was it like dial up?
Oh God, it was dial up. Let's go. Oh man, all the noise, and you knew you was on the internet because if you pick up the phone, all you heard.
Oh man, it's like a fax line.
Oh, it's tied.
Man, technology has really come up. Like, we literally, Like every generation has lived through some technology.
But you want to know what was cool about the internet though?
What?
Because you know how like you see advances in technology, but it'd be such incremental. It'd be so slow. It'd just be like, think about the TV. It would be like black and white TV, but then you'd be cool with black and white TV, and then years later, just one day, now it's in color.
Right.
But it took
and
years
tomatoes
to
are
get,
coming.
Right, and tomatoes next to Armada, right? So you already got, the color TV. Then years later, they started updating the screens. Like the internet, we went from dial-up to DSL, which was just a little bit faster. The cable internet. Now we got AT&T super fiber optic internet that goes like 8 million gigs per second.
Hey, listen, they be saying it's gonna go lightning fast. I be like, dude, just don't let it crash so I can stream. I don't care. You know, like as long as it's better than dial up. You hear me?
Right, yeah. What I swear, once we got DSL, which was really, if you think about it, just a slow cable internet, basically. Yeah. But it was much faster than dial-up.
It was. I mean, you'll wait a good 10 minutes because you ain't waiting 2 hours.
Right.
You hear me? I like let's. If y'all don't know about dial-up internet and that was dial-up and the AOL disc. That we was the brink of that technology before the internet. Yeah,
right. But it was like, but it advanced so rapidly.
It did. It went. It's just like remember them old ass big cell phones.
Yep.
The first cell phones.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they got a little bit smaller, and then they start flipping.
Yep.
And then we got the smartphones, and now they're trying to go back to the flip. I refuse to go back to a flip phone.
Right, they merged them together. Now they're flip smartphones. So it'll still be like a smartphone, like a Samsung or an iPhone, but it'll be flipping. I'm not saying we're getting it because I remember Motorola Razors.
Razors were coming.
Oh man, them things broke so easily.
I had the Beyonce phone. Beyonce had a phone.
What was that? Wasn't that the?
It was red and it was
little red. I think I remember you.
I had the Beyonce phone.
Yeah, it was broke.
Oh, it was so motherfucking broke. It overheated because there was no way to get to the battery. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was a very. In the advanced technology, there were so many design flaws.
Or a BlackBerry.
Hey, I didn't have a BlackBerry. I had a Blackjack. That was my AT&T.
I had a Blackjack, but it was pink.
Oh, see,
it didn't have so many buttons like a real BlackBerry. I had like enough.
Hey, listen, everybody thought it was, and I had, I swear I love that black. I had like a little phone case, on my side and everything.
Oh, you remember phone cases? How about a beeper?
Bro, we still got phone cases. Look.
No, I mean like the ones that used to be in on the belt hook. Yeah,
I had one. That thing was cool.
Yeah, my dad still. Daddy, if you watching, I ain't making fun of you, but my dad still got one.
I believe it. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that though.
Yeah,
it really ain't.
It ain't. But you gonna have your beeper.
Now I don't think because I used to ride with Pep a lot. My uncle. I used to ride with him a lot. I didn't really see him. I vaguely remember him having a beeper, but I'm gonna tell you, he had almost every cell phone. Like he had the big phone. He had car phones. He had a car phone, right? He had the whole. It was like a package. It was like in some like little satchel or whatever. He opened it up. It's the phone. It's the wire. It's all that, and he hooked it up in like the cigarette lighter.
And that sounds so complicated.
He'd be talking,
bro. That sounds so complicated. I had a beeper.
Yeah, I think you told me you had.
Mine's pink and purple. Everything got to be pink and purple. I don't know what's wrong with me, but those colors are my colors.
Right, but we're saying all that to say that we have seen so many advancements in technology.
Yeah, we have.
Right? And it wasn't like how our parents seen it. Like it was a gradual thing. Like no, this is just like
it just kept going so fast.
I feel like we've gone through. We're only one generation, but I feel like we've gone through like 5 or 6 generations of technology.
We have. Like, just think about it. We are on the PlayStation 5. You and I started, like my brother had an Atari. I never really played it, but the first gaming system that I played was the Nintendo with Duck Hunt. With the actual little plug-in gun. That's the first game that I played. We had a Super Mario, what was that? the gaming system.
Yeah, the
Super Nintendo. And then my mom them, they always found the way to have Sega Genesis because they love Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Like we have lived through all the advancements so far of technology.
Right, we really have. And that's what's helped us to kind of adapt in this world that we're going in now with monetizing and everything, and
yeah, because
doing photography. Like
my parents, like my dad, he gets it a little bit more, but like my mom, she doesn't understand that I got hired by Facebook. I got hired by TikTok. I got hired by YouTube to create content.
Right, which is, if you think about it, like, what's so wild about it? Because people have to work for like these big, like you hear big names like Facebook,
Yeah.
or let's just take it out the social media realm. You hear big company names like, I don't know, let's say Pepsi, Nike, or Coke, or stuff like that. Like, how is it that far-fetched to be hired by these people?
Right,
Right.
And then my mama said, well, you're not using your degrees. Well, I am. They hired me because I have the education to know how to elevate this platform to continue it going, what they need to do, and do my own thing while I'm doing it. I'm using my degrees. Can you get that right there? I'm using it to the betterment. It's a spider crawling on the wall. Yeah, I don't like spiders. But yeah, I'm using my degrees, and my mom, she says, oh, it's not a real job. It is a real job. Like, I filed taxes as a content creator. I made a lot of money last year. It was really cool to be able to do that. And it wasn't the goal. My goal was to create a family YouTube channel, a food blog. But it took so many turns and pivots. And if you are ever interested in monetizing your platforms, the biggest thing that I can tell you that you will be doing is always pivoting. You always have to change when you feel that the season is changing. And what that looks like is completely and totally up to you. But for me, I pivot whenever traction starts to slow down. Okay, people are not interested in this, so let's see if this is an interest, and it's something that I'm passionate about, so I want to share it with my fans and my followers and my friends. So I share with you guys what I'm interested in, and if you like it, we can talk about it. Nowadays, y'all just celebrated my birthday with me, and I appreciate all the love. I could not keep up with all the notifications, because like on my Facebook profile alone, and this is not my business projects, just my Facebook profile, I'm almost at 7K followers. That is such a blessing. Thank you guys so much for following me. I really appreciate it. On TikTok, I'm almost at 4,000. On all of our other business pages on Facebook, I think Arts and Styles, because that one has been around for 8 years.
Right, yeah, it's been around, man, because you were doing styles.
That was my first business page.
Art and styles.
Art and Styles is coming. But I started that as a hobby page, and back then, if you created a business page, it wouldn't be visible unless you paid Facebook. I don't know if y'all know that. That's how they had them set up. And I couldn't afford to pay for it, so I would use it as my hobby to showcase hairstyles that I did on myself, and I would share it to my profile. And I would invite people to follow the page and everything. Sometimes I feel like they paid attention to what I did and made it this whole monetization thing. Sometimes I feel like that. I feel like I'm the mother that birthed that. Okay, we're going to have to check with Facebook on that next time I have a meeting with them. See if they made that after me. But anywho, then, Instagram came around. I wasn't too on board with Instagram, but he was. And do you remember when Instagram became a part of Facebook or Meta's?
It was a while back.
But at first, when it was just Instagram, you and I both didn't see no point in it, because we shared pictures on Facebook.
Right, but sometimes you just got to give stuff a try.
You got to give it a try. Right. You got to be open-minded. See where it is.
So, and because I'm going to be honest with you, Twitter X, whatever it wants to be called now, right? I'll be honest, I didn't think there was no point to Twitter either. Now, I did try it, and after trying it, I still don't see the point to Twitter.
Okay.
It's cool,
Like, it's okay. I don't hate it. I'm not a big Twitter fan.
I think it's just another outlet for people to want to connect on. What I've learned by being on all the platforms is that some people are just not on all of them. So it's a way to connect with so many different people and share your perspective. That's all that I get from it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot of people on Threads, but it's still thriving, you know? It's not a lot of people still on X or Twitter, but it's still thriving. Because they have the same thing set up with monetization, but with their program, you got to pay to play. And the minimum to play is $50. And I don't know what I'm playing with. You understand what I mean? So
right.
I don't play with them.
Right.
I'm there, and it's just to connect with my fan base that are only on X or Twitter. But for the most part, you know, I'm doing what I do over here, you know. But it's a way to connect with people that you did not that don't know you and you don't know them. That's all.
Yeah.
Same thing with all of them. Like the traction that we're able to get now on our first YouTube channel, Welcome to the Nash House. These people comment out of nowhere. I don't know these people. They're not even really following us, but they're always engaging.
Mm-hmm.
So I re-engaged with them. And one dude said, "You gonna talk about somebody with your melon head ass?" And I said, "Well, thank you for watching my melon head ass. You know, like, I'm not mad at you." Thank you for watching. You know, that helps me further my goals with our monetization on there, you know. So I appreciate their engagement. It might be rude, but it's engagement. You understand what I mean? And you cannot take none of this stuff to heart, because people will try to tear you apart on this sad here internet. They try to act like you're not a person, you're an object. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna people.
People be peopling.
Right, and I know that sounds weird. They'll be like, "Well, that's bad grammar," but I mean, there's truth to that. People, what we mean by that is people are going to do out of pocket, out of character stuff because they feel like they can.
Because they feel like they can say or do whatever they want.
Right,
and it's
and
like,
without any consequences. And because, you know, when you're going on that journey of being an influencer or trying to be a figure, you end up becoming a public figure.
Yeah.
So when you become a public figure, you know, you kind of are held to a certain standard.
Yeah.
So you can't necessarily just get them like
right.
you normally would as just a regular person.
Like, you know, if a mother say something rude to me, if I say it back, they'll go ahead and flag it, and now my account is suspended from receiving monetization for 90 days. It's
right,
like what they said it to me, you know.
Right, and it was, I had a lesson in that because so
Thank
while
you for the love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you all so much for the folks out there on TikTok. So when you were having your surgery,
okay,
right? So you having your hand surgery. I'm past
and
the time.
it's healed, by the way. 5 weeks. It looked good.
It does.
It looked really good
until you even had surgery.
Now I can't do what I want to do. It's still healing, but it's looking good. Now go ahead with your story.
So we were it was in surgery. So I was just kind of reading through Facebook and everything, and there was something. It was an article because I'm a Steelers football fan.
Okay.
So it was saying something about, you know, the best coaches in the league today, and they ranked Mike Tomlin as like number 2 or number 3. I can't remember. He's pretty high up there.
Is that the black coach?
Yes, that's the black head coach.
Okay.
Right? He's been with the Steelers 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
we specify that because we don't see a lot of black coaches in professional football.
Right. It's and it's starting to get scarce. So he's like one of the very few that's, you know, been able to maintain, you know, his job, and he's a really good coach.
Okay.
So I just made a comment like, okay, yeah, that seems up there, right? Like, I agree with this. So one of these idiots.
Now why you gotta call him an idiot? How about just a troll?
Because I don't know. Because you know, we need more descriptors outside of just trolls. So
okay.
yeah, idiot is going to be that one. because that he just instead of just he could have just disagreed like just say like no, I don't think so, I think he's down. Instead of saying something educated, he's gonna be, you fucking dumbass, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, he's an idiot, you're an idiot. But like, and he's one of them type of people.
But that was y'all first interaction?
That was first interactions right
he just went rapid fire.
So I'm just like, so in my mind I'm like, normally I leave this alone, but but you know what?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I didn't do it, did I? Sorry, y'all.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Stop touching stuff.
Hey, I was trying to wave at the people. They waved at me.
Stop touching stuff. Anyway, so I had time. No, I literally had time because you were in surgery. Like,
you was waiting on me, so you had time.
So I had time.
All right, we're going to have to start wrapping it up.
Yeah, we had time today.
You got it. It's on this side.
My old computer was like that.
All right, I'll be right back. You talk to them. I got to go to the little girl's closet.
What? I find that mighty convenient.
Hold on now.
That you just happen to have to go to the bathroom. You are your son's mama. Jesus H. Christ, man. You fix one thing and then they leave you to man the show. So, kind of leading off with the story. So I had time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get him. So I forgot what I said, but, I just pretty much told him, he sounded like a bitch. Point blank, period. Like, yeah, I sent it off. I get a little nasty gram from Facebook saying like, oh, you can't say what you said, it's hate speech, whatever. So I disputed it because I felt like I was right.
And he should have, as his social media advisor, he should have just deleted it. Excuse me, watch your foot, baby.
Well, I stand on what I said.
I know, but you should have just deleted it.
Nope, I said it with my chest, and I'm going to say it with my chest. So
and so he got a strike, and I got a strike, too, as his social media manager.
Hey, he shouldn't have came for me like that.
Bruh. Anywho.
But anyways, while you coming in here interjecting in the story, you didn't interject when you had to plug the thing in.
Yeah, I did that. I had to run.
Yeah, always running off somewhere. Let me have to do all the heavy lifting. And then wondering, well, why can't you do this? Because I just got done doing the heavy lifting. So back to the story. I did get a little warning, but not before, I kind of blocked the guy and reported his thing. Because if I'm going down, somebody's coming down with me. I'm not just going down with the ship by myself. No, we're going to sink on this mug together.
That's not nice.
We're going to just be playing. It'll be like Titanic. We just going to play the violins till the water come up.
That's not nice. You have to turn the other cheek.
Listen here, Michelle Obama. You can go high all you want to. Like, we got to go low. We'll go low. Sometimes if you take the low road, I'll get there for the people who take the high road. What?
Not you what? Not you what, man? That's one thing I do love about you also is that your love for wrestling. It really turned me, really into a fan. I mean, we share that common interest with you guys from time to time. We were blessed to go to one of the SmackDown shows that came to town.
Yeah, it was Monday Night Raw, actually.
Yeah, we went to Raw.
Yeah.
And the kids loved it. If you haven't seen that, it is on our YouTube channel. It's on our Facebook, Welcome to the Nash House,
we shared. Yeah, we both did like a reel about it. I know you did a video. I did one.
I did a long form one to like kind of tell like the whole story of it. It was really fun. But your love for wrestling really invited me to it. Now we're going to continue on to this conversation on another time in another episode, guys. If you catch this later on the replay, make sure that you comment, that you stop by so we can shout you out on the next episode. Also, ask us any question for the next episode if you have any about monetization, because we do talk about that from here and there. Or if you want to ask us any other questions about our adventures with technology, because that's what we do is just technology, right?
Yeah, I like
and life,
modern comforts like video games.
Man, I miss playing the game. I can't get there yet. It's gonna get back
Man,
there.
I'm just waiting for them to go back to school and I can get my game time back.
But anywho, thank you so much for tuning in today, and thank you, Jan Photography, for being a co-host of my show today.
Oh yeah, no problem. And just remember, athletes run. You see
And
the
they're
irony
running
of this
with
shirt.
tomatoes.
The irony of the shirt. I ain't been no athlete in years. Talking about some running.
It's your girl Dominique Nash signing off. You guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna let y'all out with a little outro music, okay? Toodles. I'll see you later. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and make sure that you hit that notification button so you can be notified, okay? See you later.
All right, we out. Oh, we weren't out on the other ones. Because leaving is coming.
Oh.
You got plenty of options, but try them all.